Hi Yvette, I hope all is well. I'll briefly go over question 13 in your Unit 7 homework. I know you're having trouble determining where to shade the graph. First, I'll go over plotting the two lines. I know you did this correctly in your homework, but I think it would be a good refresher, and then we can talk about shading the system appropriately. So we have 2x minus 5y is less than or equal to 10, and 4x minus 2y is greater than 8. First, we want to graph this inequality on the graph. So we have 2x minus 5y is less than or equal to 10. I can find the intercept. So first I'll find the x-intercept, and then I'll find the y-intercept. And once we have those two ordered pairs, we can plot those on the graph and then connect the 2 points to make our line. First, I'm going to find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, all you do is replace y with 0 and solve for x. So I have 2x minus 5 times 0 equals 10. Remember, when you're solving the x and y intercepts, you change that inequality sign to an equal sign just for the purposes of solving the equation. This becomes 2x minus 0 equals 10. So then I have 2x equals 10. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals 5. So that means the x-intercept is 5, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and plot this on the graph. And 5, 0 is right there. Now we're going to find the y-intercept. So you replace x with 0 and solve for y. So 2 times 0 is 0. We have 0 minus 5y equals 10. This gives us a negative 5y equals 10. Then we'll divide both sides by a negative 5. And we have y equals negative 2. So the y-intercept is 0, negative 2. And we can go ahead and plot that on the graph. So that's on the y-axis, and that would be this point right here. Now that I have 2 points, I can connect the line. Remember that the original inequality was less than or equal to. Whenever you have that equal to sign underneath the inequality, that becomes a solid line. So we'll connect those two dots with a solid line. Okay, so that is the line of our first inequality. Since this is an inequality, I have solutions that are either above or below the line. So I need to figure out if I need to shave above this line or below this line. So in order to do that, we're going to choose a test point, and the test point cannot be on the line. So we're going to choose 0, 0, and 0, 0 is that point right there, and as you can see, that's above the line. It doesn't matter, we could choose a point below the line. We just can't choose any point that's on the line itself. So I'm going to choose 0, 0 as the test point. And you just need one test point. So I'll plug this into the inequality. So that's 2 times 0 minus 5 times 0 is less than or equal to 10. And I get 0 minus 0 is less than or equal to 10. And 0 is less than or equal to 10. Now that's a true statement. 0 is less than 10. So that means the point 0, 0 is included in my solution. So since 0, 0 is above that line, I am going to shade everywhere above this line. Okay, so all of that is shaded. Now, this is just the graph of the first inequality. Now we're going to graph the second inequality, and wherever the shading overlaps, we'll just keep that overlapped shading. But right now I wanted to graph the entire inequality so I can see the overlap later on. Okay, we're going to find the x and y intercepts of the second inequality now. Remember, we'll just change that inequality sign to an equal sign, and we're going to replace the y with a 0 and solve for x. So 2 times 0 is 0, so I get 4x minus 0 equals 8, and that's 4x equals 8, and then divide by 4 on both sides, so we have x equals 2. That tells me that my x-intercept is 2, 0. So we can go ahead and plot this on the line. So 2, 0 is this point right here. Now we're going to find the y-intercept, so you plug a 0 in for x and solve for y, and we get 0 minus 2y equals 8. This is negative 2y equals 8. Divide both sides by negative 2, and we're left with y equals a negative 4. So our y-intercept is 0, negative 4. And we'll go to the graph and then plot that point, which is down here. Now, if we look at our original inequality, we'll see that we have a greater than sign. There's not an equal to line underneath that sign, so that means that our line on the graph is going to be dotted. So we'll go ahead and connect those two dots with a dotted line. To complete this line, to complete graphing this inequality, we need to figure out if it's shaded above or to the left of the dotted line, or below or to the right of the dotted line. So we're either going to shade over here, or we're going to shade down below here. To figure out where we shade, we'll first pick a test point, and the test point cannot be on the dotted line. So we can select point 0, 0, which is right here. As you can see, it's not on the dotted line. So we're going to plug in 0 for x and a 0 for y into the bottom inequality here to see if the statement is true or false. So I have 4 times 0 minus 2 times 0 is greater than 8. This becomes 0 minus 0 is greater than 8, which is 0 is greater than 8. 0 is not greater than 8, so this is a false statement. That means the point 0, 0 is not included in the shading. So 0, 0 is above the line or on this side of the line. So we cannot shade up there since 0, 0 is not included. That means we're going to do the opposite and shade below the line. So we shade on this side of the line because 0, 0 was not included. Now, in order to finalize the graphing of the system of inequalities, we only keep the shading in which the two lines overlapped. Now, as you can see, the shading was overlapped in this region right here. So we only keep this yellow part of the shading. We can erase the shading in all other areas. The correct answer is given here. As you can see, the solid line is shaded above, the dotted line is shaded below, and the overlap is in this area here. All the other areas were erased. Here I have the correct answer, which is the answer that we just graphed, and then your answer, which you plotted in my math lab. So everything looks to be correct. You plotted the lines correctly, but you shaded incorrectly. So you shaded two areas. You shaded this area, and then you also shaded this area here. We shouldn't shade this area because we determined that for the solid line, we have to shade above it. So shading below it would not be appropriate since we can only shade above that dotted line. So if you erase this portion of your answer, then you would have the correct answer. Okay, let me know if you have additional questions or if this still doesn't make sense, and we'll try to point out the areas that you need help with to clear some questions up for you.